No one has told you this yet, but your eyes hold a secret power that you've likely never fully tapped into. Yes, you heard that right. Imagine this: with just one look, you could captivate, mesmerize, and even seduce someone without uttering a single word. Intrigued? Well, you should be. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey into the fascinating world of eye contact, an art form that, when mastered, will have people hanging on your every glance. So, buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to turn your eyes into the ultimate tool of seduction. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Segment 1, the power of the eyes. All right, let's kick things off by talking about the sheer power of the eyes. I'm sure you've heard the saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. But what does that really mean? It's not just some poetic phrase, it's grounded in reality. Your eyes can communicate emotions, intentions, and even desires without you saying a single word. Think about it. How often have you felt a connection with someone just by locking eyes? Maybe it was across a crowded room or during a deep conversation. That moment when your eyes meet and you just know there's something special there. That's the power I'm talking about. It's primal, it's instinctive, and it's something we all experience, whether we realize it or not. But here's the thing, most of us don't know how to fully harness this power. We go through life making eye contact on autopilot, never really understanding the impact it can have. But once you learn how to control and direct your gaze with intention, you can start to influence the way others see you and the way they feel about you. Segment 2, eye contact seduction. Now let's get into the good stuff, seduction. And no, I'm not just talking about romantic seduction, although that's certainly a part of it. Seduction in its broader sense is about influence. It's about creating a magnetic pull that draws people towards you, whether you're in a romantic setting, a social gathering, or even a professional environment. When it comes to eye contact, seduction is all about subtlety. It's the art of sending signals, of communicating without words. Picture this: you're at a party and you catch someone's eye across the room. Instead of looking away or giving them a quick glance, you hold their gaze just a second longer than usual. Not too long, just enough to let them know you're interested. Then, you smile, just a hint of a smile, enough to add a touch of mystery. You've just planted a seed, a tiny spark of curiosity. And the best part, you did it all without saying a single word. But let's break it down further. What makes eye contact so effective in seduction? It's all about creating a connection. Our brains are wired to respond to eye contact. When someone looks us in the eye, it triggers a response, a release of chemicals like oxytocin, the so-called love hormone that makes us feel connected, even if we're strangers. And this isn't just about romantic attraction. It works in all sorts of contexts: building trust in a business meeting, establishing rapport with a new friend, or even commanding attention when you're speaking in public. Segment 3, mastering the look. Now that you understand the power of eye contact, let's talk about how you can master it. The first thing you need to know is that confidence is key. And I'm not just talking about fake it till you make it confidence, I'm talking about the real deal. When you're confident, it shows in your eyes. They become more alive, more engaged, and people can sense that. So how do you build this confidence? Start by practicing in front of a mirror. Yes, I know it sounds weird, but trust me on this. Look into your own eyes and practice holding your gaze. Notice how you feel. Are you comfortable? Or do you feel the urge to look away? Keep practicing until you can maintain eye contact with yourself without feeling awkward. This will help you get used to the sensation of holding someone's gaze in a real-life situation. Next, think about your focus. Are you really seeing the person in front of you, or are you just looking? There's a big difference between the two. When you're truly focused on someone, your eyes will naturally convey interest and attention. This is what people respond to, the feeling that you're fully present, fully engaged with them. One technique that can help with this is called soft eyes. Instead of staring intensely, which can come off as aggressive or creepy, relax your gaze. Let your eyes soften, almost as if you're looking at the person through a slight haze. This makes your gaze more inviting, more open. It's a subtle shift, but it can make a huge difference in how others perceive you. Segment 4, avoiding the pitfalls. Of course, like any powerful tool, eye contact can backfire if you're not careful. One of the biggest mistakes people make is staring too intensely. Have you ever been in a situation where someone's gaze was so strong that it made you uncomfortable? That's what you want to avoid. The goal is to create a connection, not to make the other person feel like they're under a microscope. So how do you avoid this? One word: blinking. It sounds simple, but blinking is crucial. Not only does it keep your eyes from drying out, but it also helps to soften your gaze. When you blink naturally, it breaks the intensity of the stare and makes your eye contact feel more organic. This is especially important if you're someone who tends to forget to blink when you're nervous or focused. Another pitfall to watch out for is the darting eyes syndrome. This happens when you're so nervous that your eyes can't seem to settle on anything. They're constantly moving, flicking one point to another, and it gives off the impression that you're either anxious or disinterested. To combat this, practice steadying your gaze. When you're talking to someone, focus on their eyes and let your gaze rest there. If you need to look away, do it slowly and deliberately, not in a hurried or jerky motion. And finally, don't forget about the rest of your body. Eye contact is powerful, but it's even more effective when combined with open, welcoming body language. Uncross your arms, relax your shoulders, and lean slightly toward the person you're engaging with. This shows that you're open and receptive, which makes your eye contact feel less like a challenge and more like an invitation. Segment 5, the art of the subtle suggestion. Now that you're mastering the basics, it's time to level up with the art of subtle suggestion. This is where eye contact becomes truly powerful. You see, your eyes can do more than just hold someone's attention. They can also send hidden messages, plant ideas, and even guide someone's thoughts. One of the most effective techniques is what I like to call the suggestive glance. Let's say you're having a conversation with someone, and you want to subtly suggest something without coming right out and saying it. Maybe you want to hint that you're interested in them romantically, or perhaps you want to steer the conversation in a certain direction. Instead of using words, use your eyes. Here's how it works. While you're talking, you can direct your gaze to certain areas like their lips, if you want to hint at a kiss, or their hands if you're thinking about physical touch. It's a quick glance, just long enough for them to notice, but short enough to leave them wondering. This creates a sense of mystery and intrigue, which can be incredibly seductive. But it's not just about where you look, it's also about how you look. The intensity of your gaze can convey a lot. A soft, lingering look can suggest desire or interest, while a quick, sharp glance can imply urgency or importance. The key is to be subtle. You don't want to be too obvious or you'll lose the element of mystery. Another powerful tool in your arsenal is the double take. This is when you glance at something or someone, look away, and then look back again, as if you're drawn to them. It's a classic move, and it works because it shows that you're intrigued, that there's something about them that keeps pulling your attention back. And because it's done with the eyes, it feels natural and unforced. Segment 6, applying IT in real life. Okay, so now that you've got all these techniques in your toolkit, how do you actually use them in real life? Let's start with social situations like parties or gatherings. When you enter a room, take a moment to scan the crowd with your eyes. Don't just rush and be intentional. Look around and see who catches your eye. When you find someone interesting, make sure they notice you noticing them. Hold their gaze for just a beat longer than normal, and then give them a slight smile. This is your way of saying, I see you and I'm interested. In one-on-one conversations, use your eye contact to deepen the connection. Listen with your eyes as well as your ears. When they're talking, keep your gaze steady and focused on them, not occasionally to show you're engaged. And when it's your turn to speak, maintain that eye contact. If you're discussing something personal or emotional, soften your gaze to show empathy and understanding. In professional settings, like job interviews or meetings, eye contact is your secret weapon for projecting confidence and competence. When you walk into the room, greet everyone with a smile and direct eye contact. During the conversation, make sure to engage with everyone present. Don't just focus on one person. This shows that you're aware of your audience and that you value everyone's input. When you speak, hold eye contact with the person you're addressing, but don't be afraid to break it occasionally to avoid coming off as too intense. Segment 7, the subtle science of commands. We're diving even deeper now. Ever heard of embedding commands in your speech? Well, guess what, you can do the same with your eyes. This is the subtle science of commands, and it's all about using your gaze to plant suggestions in someone's mind. Sounds like magic, right? But it's actually rooted in psychology. Here's the basic idea: our brains are incredibly responsive to visual cues. When someone makes strong eye contact with us, especially during a moment of suggestion or instruction, our subconscious is more likely to absorb that information. So if you want to influence someone subtly, timing your eye contact to coincide with certain key phrases or moments is crucial. For example, let's say you're trying to persuade someone to agree with you. As you deliver your main point, the moment when you say something like, "This is really important," lock eyes with them. The combination of your words and your gaze creates a powerful impact, making it more likely that they'll agree or at least seriously consider what you're saying. Another technique is to use what I call the eye drop. This is when you make eye contact just before dropping a crucial piece of information or a subtle suggestion. It's almost like planting a seed. The person might not even realize it, but that glance reinforces the message in a way that words alone can't. Segment 8, creating lasting impressions. Finally, let's talk about how to make sure your eye contact leaves a lasting impression. Whether it's a first date, a job interview, or even just meeting someone new, you want them to remember you. And eye contact is one of the most powerful tools for doing that. First, let's revisit the idea of authenticity. People can tell when your gaze is genuine and when it's forced. The most memorable eye contact comes from a place of sincerity. If you're really engaged in the conversation, if you're truly interested in the person in front of you, your eyes will naturally reflect that. And that's what people remember, the feeling that you were genuinely present. But here's a little trick to make sure they don't forget you: the lingering look. At the end of your conversation, when you're saying goodbye, hold their gaze for just a moment longer than usual. It's a subtle move, but it's incredibly effective. It leaves them with the impression that there was something more, something unsaid. It's the kind of thing that keeps you on their mind long after the conversation is over. Another way to create a lasting impression is to combine your eye contact with a touch. This could be a handshake, a light touch on the arm, or even just a slight lean in as you speak. The combination of physical touch and eye contact creates a connection that's hard to forget. It's like you're engaging all of their senses, making the interaction more vivid and memorable. So there you have it, the complete guide to mastering the art of seduction through eye contact. We've covered everything from basic techniques to advanced strategies, all designed to help you harness the power of your gaze. Remember, it's not just about looking, it's about truly seeing, connecting, and communicating on a deeper level. Now, it's time for you to go out there and practice what you've learned. Whether you're looking to build stronger relationships, make a lasting impression, or just add a little more intrigue to your daily interactions, these techniques will help you do just that. So get out there and start using your eyes to their full potential. And trust me, once you start, you'll wonder how you ever got by without this secret weapon in your arsenal.